It's a huge benefit for somebody who needs to exercise for their health, which to me, it's saving my life. So I'm Kim McDaniel, and I live here in Oak Leaf, Texas. And in 2020, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So that began a 3 years nightmare of medical ward. It wasn't good. So I went through a year and a half of hardcore chemo and got through that, had 4 surgeries, and then I was out here trimming trees because I was starting to feel better after chemo, and walked up the hill to carry some brush up to a burn pile, and my chest just went hardcore, hurting. Well, it turned out I had a heart attack, and went to the doctor, and they sent me to the cardiologist, and turned out he wanted to do a stent, but he woke me up from the stent surgery saying that I needed a real heart surgery. So turned out I ended up having open heart surgery with 5 bypasses. So after all that, I started trying to walk to get exercise, with heart surgery, and you don't want to go through that again, trust me. I had problems with my knee, which I'd already had 1 knee replacement, and the doctor at the time said, you need to do both, and I said, that's not happening. And so walking 20, 30 minutes a day, it blew up. It just got so swollen I couldn't walk at all. My cardiologist talked to me about exercise, and I said I was trying to walk and I can't because of my knee, and I don't want to have knee replacement surgery. So she recommended swimming. Well, I'm from Florida originally, and I love the idea of getting a pool. And I looked at a pool and just trying to figure out where I would put a pool. And, when I was younger, we lived on the beach, and I would go into the ocean every day and swim against the current horizontally. And my dad would get mad because he could never find me. I'd be miles down the beach. And so I started looking online at pools, and I saw the swim spas. And I'm like, that's it, that's what I want. And I was started, researching, looking at all the different companies, and found Atlas and Michael Phelps' name, which I love. And I've always been a swimmer, and being in water my dad used to tell me I was like a fish out of water. So looking at that possibility was perfect. So it turned out my doctor didn't want me going back into a public workspace because of my immune system being so low. And then I just in March got diagnosed with kidney disease. And my boss wouldn't accept that accommodation for me to work from home until my immune system got better. So I retired. So with that, I had a 401k, and when I looked at Atlas, Nikki at the Plano store immediately texted me, and I was impressed with that. And so we were texting back and forth, and I ended up going to the showroom, and Nikki was with a customer, so I ended up with Natalie, who's awesome. And Natalie showed me the 15-footer, which was huge. And so turned out that I have this house as part of my property. It's a little, they used it as a guest house. I used it for storage. So it worked out perfectly for me to get a smaller swim spa. So they have the Trainer 12, which it was like this house was made for it. And so I got the Trainer 12 and got it in here, and I I use it every day. I swim. When I first started, I could swim for like 2 minutes at a time. And at that time, I was just swimming. I didn't have a mask or anything. And then I got eye goggles, and that helped. But, constantly breathing and, swimming and breathing and swimming and breathing was a challenge. And I talked to Natalie at Atlas, and she told me about it's a face mask with a snorkel, which I use daily. I would, just keep working on that. And so now, as of last week, I'm up to 45 minutes of swimming. But I also use the rower. I do all kinds of stretches in the water that I could never do outside of the water. I'm way healthier. I could actually, I was doing my dog's nails, and I sit on a little stool. And before I would have to move heaven and earth to get up. Well, the other day I just stood up because in the pool I do squats, lunges, dips, all kinds of stuff that I, at this point can't do outside of water. So I saw my doctor last week and told her I was doing lunges, and she's like, "What, with your knee?" I'm like, "In the water." And she, "Oh, that's cool." So yeah, I can do, all kinds of side lunges, reverse lunges, all kinds of lunges. And my goal is to lose weight and get back in shape, because 3 years of sitting, after all, I had 5 surgeries in a year and a half. There wasn't a lot of moving going on. It's definitely, I feel a whole difference in my body, but I had to stop getting on the scale. I was getting on the scale every day, and I was getting frustrated because it was going up. Well, I was building muscle mass, which weighs more than fat, so now I don't get on the scale. I just look and see how my clothes fit. One of the things that's been the biggest benefit for me is I'm a huge water person, and I moved to this area because there's a creek back here, and I needed trees and water. Having this pool, I'd always be jealous of my neighbors. Both my neighbors over here both have pools, and I'd be jealous. And if somebody is a water person and likes to swim, the swim spa is the perfect thing to have. I mean, you think about it, I can swim 12 months a year, right? Especially with it being in a house. I've swam during a severe storm because I'm inside. Not everybody can do that, but you can swim 24 or 12 months a year, any time of day you want. In the winter, you can heat it up. I keep it at around 82 degrees, but in a pool, in a regular pool, you can swim laps, but in a normal yard pool, how many laps can you do without getting bored? I'd go over to my neighbors and swim laps, and I'd be bored after 5 minutes. So with this, I'm up to 45 minutes of swimming, which I love, every day. Even if you don't know how to swim, you can still have a swim spa. It's only 3 feet deep. So if you get scared, you just stand up. But I tell everybody about it. And the lady who's helping me get set up for my Medicare, she's looking at a pool, and I'm like, "Don't get a pool, get a swim spa." And I told her all the benefits of it. You don't sweat, you can use it it's 12 months a year. And she's pretty much thinking she's going to go that direction. So, because her son kept saying, "You got to get a diving board, a pool's boring." Again, swim spa, you don't have that problem. I told her about the rowing. She said, "I like to row." So it's just, it's been a huge benefit for me, and it's something I enjoy. If somebody who needs to do some type of exercise and they don't want to be out in 105-degree heat, I come out here and it's 100 degrees, I get in the pool and I'm cold. So, I start swimming so I can warm up. one time, we had one storm, the electricity went out, and I said, I'm going to go and sleep in my swim spot. But it's a huge benefit for somebody who needs to exercise for their health, which to me, it's saving my life. Because I wasn't able to walk due to needing a knee replacement, which I don't want to do. And I've even thought about, if I do knee replacement, how am I going to get in there? So I thought, oh, crutches, I'll use crutches and just dive in. But it's a huge benefit for somebody who needs to exercise, and doesn't want to go to a gym, get all sweaty. You don't sweat in a swim spa. That's a huge benefit. And my neighbors, I tell them, when it gets too hot, you can come over and get in my swim spa, or if it's too cold, you can get in my swim spa. So it's a great benefit. I've already recognized, a lot of my body shape changing. And that was my goal, is to have my heart be healthy, feel better, which I do, and lose weight. Lose weight's number one. Yeah, my goal is just, I turned 65 this year, and I just don't ever want to have heart surgery again, ever. That's a hard thing to go through. So when I was younger, I was a bodybuilder, and so I was used to being in shape, but when I came out here, the life changed, and I kind of got away from all that. So now it's just time to get back into shape, be healthy. I eat healthy. I don't eat, junk food or anything like that. So this was the final step for me getting on that path.